if you do not plan to succeed, you have already determined failure for yourself automatically. So we'll be thinking right now, how does the mind change our lives? How does the mind affect what we think? How does the mind affect how we react? How does the mind affect our behaviors? How does the mind affect our character? How does the mind affect our reality? We talked about the first principle last week about how the mind forms you by applying the law of repetition, where you keep on thinking on a thing, where we said that the more you think on a thing, changes your beliefs, changes your behavior, changes your character, changes your attitude, and of course, changes your words. Now, we're looking at the impact of your thoughts, your mind, on your words. The first thing that happens when you begin to change your thoughts is that your words would be affected. Before your beliefs, before your behavior, before your attitude, before your entire character would be changed, your words will be changed. I need you to understand that this life is governed by principles. And these principles don't work when you feel like. They don't work when you don't feel like. They don't work when you are only in Africa. They don't work when you are only in the United States of America. They work every day. They work everywhere. They work every time. Whether you're in Africa, the principles are principles. They are laws. Whether you are in the United States of America, they are principles. They are laws. They work. Whether you are in the United Kingdom, they are principles. They are laws. They work. Whether it's in the morning, it works. In the afternoon, it works. At midnight, it was their principles. Take, for instance, the law of gravity, where we simply say anything that goes up must come down, right? Everything is attracted to the center of gravitational pull. Now, everything that goes up comes down. If you're in Africa, you jump from a 3-story building. Do you think you will go up? No, you come down. How about if you're in the United States of America? Would you suddenly levitate just because you're in the United States of America? No, the principle will still work. It will come down. If you're in the United Kingdom, you'll come down. If you're in Asia, you jump from a 3-story building, you will still come down because it's a principle. It's a law. It's governed everywhere, every day, every time. Now, let's take, for instance, you get a bucket, an empty bucket, and you put it under a tap. Let's say you put on the tap just a little bit, not so much, not so fast. And the water starts coming out, maybe in little droplets, into that bucket. What do you think would happen? After a few minutes, perhaps the bucket will be full, right? Let's say give it 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, depending on the size of the bucket. It will be full. What if you bring a 50 liters drum? What do you think will happen? Would you say, okay, because it's a 50 liters drum, it would not work? No, it's still the same principle. The droplets of water will keep going in, and after a while, maybe for the 5 liters bucket, it took just about 2-3 minutes. For the 50 liters drum, now it's going to take about 10 minutes, but it's the same principle. How about you bring a big drum? How about you bring a big tank? A tank of about 3,000 liters. What do you think will happen? The same principle. The water keeps going in. And eventually, you start seeing the change. It's like a patient in the hospital. You put an IV access and then you start giving your medication or you start giving your IV fluid. It's in little droplets. But eventually, you start seeing the results in the patient's health condition. The patient starts recovering. After a while, the patient was very dehydrated before, moderately or severely dehydrated, and then you keep on giving that IV fluid. After a while, we start coming out of the dehydration. In the same way, your life is governed by this principle, that if you keep thinking on a thing, it will affect your words, and you keep speaking it. You won't see the result overnight, but you will see the results over time. Why? Because your life is governed by this principle of the mind. Take, for instance, Joshua. Joshua was given a very sound, though simple principle. The principle was this. This is the law. Keep thinking on this law. Keep meditating on this law. Meditate on it in your daytime. Meditate on it at night time. Meditate on it when you are good. Meditate on it when you are bad. Meditate on it when you are happy. Meditate on it when you are sad. Day and night, keep on meditating on it. What would happen? You would become prosperous. You will have good success. It's a principle, it's a law. You want to be prosperous? You want to have good success? The principle is clear. Think on these words. Think on this law. Keep thinking on it. The more you think on these things, it will change how you speak. We want to get to the place where we are able to speak right. Now, it is a condition that is of serious concern when we have individuals that think positivity, but they speak negativity. As long as your words do not align with your thoughts, you can never have the positive results that you expect, that you hope for, that you dream of. Your life would go more in the direction of negativity naturally, but you need a lot of effort to push yourself to the direction of positivity. It means that if you sit down to do nothing, your life will not just turn out well. Your life will go down, to go south, to go towards the direction of negativity. You must have heard this before. If you do not plan to succeed, you have already determined failure for yourself automatically. In fact, you've already failed. Before you started, you've already failed. You fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? So as soon as you come to a stage where you take responsibility for your thoughts, you start taking responsibility for your word, you are sure to bring yourself to a better reality of life. That is why this conversation is all about your mind, how it could make you or it could break you. There are so many people that have thought about positivity. They've talked about success. They've thought and thought and thought. They've put all these ideas of being successful in their mind. But what happens? They open their mouths to speak, and what comes out of your mouth is sakba left, right, center, is failure, is poverty, is, oh, I know, say I no go better. I know that I can't get beyond this. I know that this is where my life will end. I know that, they have started saying all these things, but somehow in their minds, they are thinking about the good things, but they don't see the result. And then they wonder why they don't see the result. In some other conditions, it's the reverse. They keep thinking of the positives. They keep thinking of the negatives, but they keep speaking the positives. Oh, I know that I will make it. I know that I'll be prosperous. I know that I will go. I know. But when they go back to the privacy of their closets, while they are alone, on their own, at home, in their rooms, without lights, and they are just there quiet, what happens? They start dwelling on the fact that they can't be successful. Business can't go beyond this. Their academic grades can't go beyond this. Their lives can't be better than this. They start thinking on all of this. But when they come out in public, they join every other person to attempt positive confessions. But in the positive confessions, you need to first follow the principles where your life is shaped by your thoughts, and your thoughts frame your words. And if you can get your thoughts and your words to align, if you can just get your thoughts and words to align, that you are thinking of success, you are thinking of only success. Remember, your life is formed by your most dominant thoughts. So allow the thoughts of success control you. Allow the thoughts of success control you. Allow that thought to so overwhelm you that unknown to you, you just close your eyes, you are tapped at the middle of the night, and the words that come out of you is success. I remember reading the story of a man that was asked by his mentor, do you want to be successful? He said, yes. He said, how much do you want to be successful? I want to be successful badly. He said, all right, come with me. They walked a short distance. They went to the beach, and he stood by the seashore, and he asked, do you still want to be successful? He said, yes. And then he took him into the waters. He got to about his waist level. He thought they were just going for a swim. And then he asked him, do you still want to be successful? He said, yes. And the mentor, an elderly man, grabbed this young guy and dipped him into the water. He was choking, struggling for air. And then he brought him back up. And then he asked, what do you want? He said, I want to be successful. He said, that's right. When you want to be successful as badly as you want to breathe, then you will be successful. The principle there is your thoughts are not shaped by the happenings around you. They are shaped by what you really want. Your words are not shaped by what's happening around. See, do not allow your surrounding and your environment to suggest to you what to think about. Do not allow your surrounding and your environment, your family, your background suggest to you what to speak about. You change your life by changing your thoughts. You change your life by changing your words. If you can get your thoughts and your words to align, it's a principle. It may not happen overnight. It would surely happen over time. It may take a few days, a few weeks, maybe a few months. The time is not the issue. The issue is that this principle always works. Whether you are black, whether you are white, whether you are Caucasian, whether you are poor, whether you are rich, whether you are intelligent, whether you are dull, whether you are from a rich home or from a poor home or from an average and a humble beginning, it still works because it's a principle, it's a law. The first thing we talked about is following the law of repetition, where we constantly, continuously, and consciously choose to think right, choose to think on positivity. And then the next thing that happens, if you can think on those things long enough, the next thing that happens is that you will begin to speak right. You will begin to speak positivity. You will begin to speak those things that you have thought about. I'm sure you've heard of people that have said before that, oh, it was just a slip of tongue. No, there's nothing like a slip of tongue, because everything that comes out was first on the inside. It is first within and then without. If you sow those thoughts, those seeds, it's like a garden. We talked about this in the previous lesson, right? If you sow negativity into your heart, eventually negativity will come out, whether deliberately or accidentally. If you take a sponge and you soak a sponge into an orange juice, and you bring that sponge filled with orange juice and you put it on the table and you press it, what do you think would come out? Would it be pineapple juice? No. Would it be pure water? No. It's orange juice. It is garbage in, garbage out. When we tap you, what comes out of you? Your attitude, your behavior, your character, your words, it's all shaped by your thoughts. Everything starts from your thinking. So you don't try to change your attitude by changing your attitude. You don't try to change your character by changing your character. You don't try to change your behavior by changing your behavior. You start by changing your thinking. If you can change your thinking, you will change your words. If you can change your word, you will see that your beliefs, your behavior, your character, your attitude, and everything about your life would change, would fall in alignment. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. Derek Orfo. Thank you for joining me. This is Instructions for Living. I know that this has helped you. I know that this has inspired you. So I want to encourage you to like. I want to encourage you to like. I want to encourage you to share. I want to encourage you to leave a comment, drop your questions below, and we'll see how we can respond as quickly as we can. But make sure you spread the news, spread the word that something is happening here on this channel at Agents of Reformation. We'll continue from where we stopped next week. Thank you for joining in. See you next week.